my computer's, it doesn't have much space. So yeah, so I'm gonna go through the weekly trade forecast. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just gonna go through the pairs, and then we can mark up the chart, how they mark their chart up, so that we can prepare for the week and catch these hits. Because I know a lot of people don't know how to read it, the weekly trade forecast, and on top of that, they also don't. I know some people don't watch it, and they just don't understand how valuable it is. So let me go. So in order to get to the weekly trade forecast, you're simply just going to go over to market forecast here. They changed the name. It used to be weekly trade forecast, but I guess everybody was confused when they kept saying WTF. So they're like, what is WTF? But it's the weekly trade forecast. And now they put it at MTF for market trade forecast or something like that. But I still like WTF. So, oh, they didn't upload it. I thought they posted that they uploaded it. Oh, guys, they didn't upload the weekly trade forecast for the week yet. So I guess there is no weekly trade forecast. All right, then let's go through some pairs and start marking them up then. Because there ain't no weekly trade forecast today, right now. It probably will get dropped later on today. I can't even imagine let me go through the market because I didn't go through a lot of the pairs because of NFP. So I want to see what's going on in the market now with a lot of these pairs. Okay, so I'm just going to go through my list here. Okay, just like I always do. I'm going to go through my list, and you guys feel free to unmute yourselves and stop and ask any questions that you might have. And I'm going to go through my list how I always go through them. So the market's about to open in about, what, an hour and a half? Yeah, an hour and a half. All right, so first pair I pulled up was UJ. It's just on my list here. I didn't specifically care about what pair. I just picked whatever. And I can see what's happening on the 1 hour time frame. So as an intraday trader, I'm looking on the 1 hour time frame. So on the 1 hour time frame, we are trending down. But then as we get closer to where price is at here, you can see like in this area, it kind of was doing some stuff, some weird stuff. Hey everyone. Hey Kendra. Make sure that if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. Don't be hesitant. You can unmute yourself. We haven't gotten started with anything. I just pulled up the first pair. I'm just going to be going through a few pairs. Well, I'm just going to be going through as many pairs as I can before the session ends, just to set up for the week, because I love to have my chart set up and marked up before the market opens. The market opens about an hour and a half. So, of course, I do my same strategy every single time. I go to the 1 hour time frame, and I look for trending pairs. So I did set a trending pair here. We're in a nice little downtrend, but you can see that we had this area here. So just off the bat from me looking at this, I can see that there's a support down here. We have a support going on here. And I can see that, okay, impulse, pullback, impulse, a little pullback here, impulse, and then it had a pullback here, a small little pullback, and then it kind of just like shot on up here. So when I see stuff like this where it looks a little, it's not as neat, I always go to the 4 hour time frame just to see what it did. Okay. All right. So I'll go back to the 1 hour. I can't even imagine. I'm going to add a resistance right here. It's not the best resistance. And the only reason why I say it's not the best resistance is because I want to see more touches to this this zone. So I go to the higher time frame just so that I don't have to keep scrolling. That's all. Like, scrolling is so annoying. I don't want to have to always scroll. All right, so I can see on the 4 hour we have a wick here. Cool. All right, so this was our last high. This is our last high. So since this was our last high, we are still in bearish territory until this gets broken. So if this gets broken and we get a retest and we can take it up, okay? I really, honestly, for this pair, because we had all these rejections here, and I'll go back to the 1 hour. Since we had these rejections right here, I honestly would not be selling until price broke this support. Hey Ria, who's Ria? I haven't seen Ria before. What is your name, Ria, in the chats? Ria Charles. I haven't seen a Ria yet. Oh, this Starbucks is jamming. All right, so this is what I'm looking for on UJ if I'm intraday trading this. And somebody can kindly just screenshot it. Make sure your phone's rotated so we can see the whole thing and post it inside the chat. So yeah, this is what I'm waiting for on UJ because it was on a nice downtrend if you put the trend line here. But then you can see that it broke out of this trend, it retested, and it's on its way up. But I don't want to buy this until I get full confirmation that we're on an uptrend. So I'll be waiting for price to break this support here. I mean, this resistance here. Thank you so much, Sisley. Thank you, thank you. So that's UJ. So I'm done with this one. You, Chef, I don't really ever care for you, Chef. I'm going to put this on my art card. I don't ever really care. Ooh, ew, ew, ew. Do y'all see this? This is one of the pairs you don't touch. Do y'all see how trash this is? Do you guys see the difference between a trending pair and a non-trending pair? If y'all don't see the difference between how easy that first one was to identify, please let me know so I can break that down to y'all. Yeah, that's very funky. This is a pair I would be like, ooh, this is ugly. Next. And if you don't understand, please let me know because closed mouths don't get fed, guys. Like, I never understood if people don't understand something if you don't ask for help because you're never going to get, you can't get further if you don't understand and don't ask for help. It just hinders your success. You want to get the information while you can. Y'all, when I was in class, if I didn't understand something, I'd be like, yep, I don't get it. I need y'all to break this down for me. So yeah, so US Chef is a no-go. So there we go, no-go. Okay, so USD CAD. I don't like USD CAD either. Do you guys see why USD CAD is not the greatest? It's definitely it definitely impulse nicely, and usually after an impulse, what comes after an impulse, guys? Come on, baby. And if you don't know, let me know. Then you gotta have something got me after an impulse comes a pullback. Yeah, there we go. A correction. Exactly. So we get a pullback. Usually when the impulsive move is this impulsive, the pullback is usually deep. That's usually what happens. The deeper the impulse, the deeper the pullback. The bigger the impulse, the deeper the pullback. So this might pull back some more. Honestly, if we're looking based off of previous price, there's a whole bunch of interactions going on here. So much. Look at all these wicks. This is insane. Let me go to the 4 hours so I can get a nice clear picture. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of interactions here. I have too much stuff on my screen. I can't see. Where's my favorites bar? Here it is. Okay, I was looking for it yesterday. We've got some interactions going on all throughout this area. All throughout this area here. Even, I can bring this block slower. This is a very, very big zone, but I have to make it this big because there's so much interaction going on. So I just had to make it that big. And I go to a higher time frame just so I don't have to look. You see on the 1 hour, you got to do too much scrolling back. So I look, so price is already pulling back into its pullback zone. So we can already expect if price does pull back into here, it's still valid for the sell. I mean, for the buy until price completely breaks this zone. So if price completely breaks out of the zone and gives us a retest, I still don't even like this pair. I wouldn't even be trading it until I start seeing some trends. So if price breaks there, gives us a retest, okay, that's valid. But what I really would like to see is just price to, you know, just pull back into here just a little bit, like in the zone, maybe give me a nice wick interaction and then buy off. Because this move up was so impulsive. You got to look at the overall market environment. And the market environment here, hold on, where this right here, this was massive. This impulse, that was massive. So I can expect price to possibly just pull back into this zone just a little bit more and then continue. But you do want to take into consideration this area here where all these wicks are. But yeah, that's what I'd be expecting. But I still really don't care about this pair. It's not trending nicely for me. But I'll still put it at the top. So that's that for USD CAD. I can erase this now. We did U Chef already. NU, let's see what NU's looking like. Oops. What is NU looking like? Oh yeah, I was so mad about this last week. So mad. Because I got into this trade last week. Let me go on to 15 minutes so I can show y'all. I was in this trade last week and it didn't hit my take profit. I had went to sleep and it didn't hit my take profit because my take profit was set down here and it came right here, shot up and hit me out of and took me out on my stop loss. I'm like, ugh, NFP, you're so annoying. Because I was up about how many pips? I was up only 20 pips, which isn't really a lot, but I was still like, what the freak? But hey, that happens. That's why it was only a 7 pip risk. I only lost $7 on this trade, y'all. It was a 7 pip risk. But that's okay because my analysis was still correct. That's why you always want to go back and see your losses and why it happened. My analysis was still absolutely correct. I got into this trade. It came down, but it didn't close out only because I went to sleep. If I was up monitoring this pair, I would have automatically known to close out. Because once I saw that price came right back down to this wick here, if I saw this was the first wick, and then price went up, came down, and then when I saw this wick here close, I would have automatically just closed my trade out in my profits, but I didn't see it, so oh well. Yeah, it was at 6:45 in the morning. If you look at the bottom, it says 6:45. I was definitely sleeping at that time. And what's crazy is my alarm goes off at like 7:30-ish, 9. I mean, not 9, 7:30-ish. And I lost the trade. And look, this candle happened at 7:30. So right when my alarm went off, I got hit out of my stop loss. So if I would have woke up maybe just 30 minutes earlier, I probably could have saved myself a little bit. I could have caught some pips, but hey, that happens. That's why it's so important for you to go back and check your trades because your analysis could be absolutely right. You just didn't see to close this out. I would have been able to see this, but I wasn't up. So hey, so many people lose and they don't go back and look at their losing trades and then they quit on Forex because they never learned from what they failed on or what they lost in. They just take their losses and move on to the next, which is why I can't stress this more enough. This is why 98% of the people in the world are working 9 to 5s and still struggling, living check to check, because they're afraid of losses. Because when they do lose, they don't go back to see what they can do to be better for next time. That's it. That's all you have to do. All right, so now back to analyzing this actual chart. I was just showing you guys what had happened to me on this pair last week. All right. All right, so on the 1 hour, ooh, this looks sexy. Ooh, you look so good in you. Okay, you look really good. I don't know why I didn't catch these tips last week on NU, but this looks good. Does everybody see why it looks good? Does everybody see why this looks good?
It's in a trend.
Yes, we are in a trend. We're in a nice trend. So trends are awesome. That's what we like to see. We like to see trending pairs. We have a really, really nice trend going on here. But you also, oops, what happened? Yeah, we're in a really, really nice trend here. But I also am going to start looking at some support and resistance. We have some level going on here. Let's see. I look back. We'll go on the 4 hour. I want to see something. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we got a level. This wick is huge. I don't like that. I don't like how big that wick is. Yeah, this is a level that's kind of important. That wick is really big. You got to include that wick. When the wicks are so big like that, it kind of sucks because you don't want to have to include such a big wick, but if it's there, you got to include it. This is 18, that's like 19 pip zone. Not too bad. Okay, so let me go back to my 1 hour. All right, so we are trending right now, but we have to take into consideration that we are at a major resistance. So since we're at a major resistance, we're not just going to enter for the buy. We want to get our confirmation that we're still going to be continuing. So even if we miss that impulse that goes up, that's okay, because you still want to wait for that confirmation for the break of this zone. And then once you get the break of this zone and that retest, you can enter for your buy, because you do want to stay very, very cautious of this zone, because this could be the start of its reversal. It's reversal to the downside now, because it's at a major resistance. What does price usually do at resistance, guys? Guys, what does price usually do at a resistance? And if you don't know, say you don't know so that I can explain it to you.
Sell.
Exactly. Price usually sells at a resistance. So that's why we're going to be cautious here and not just enter for the buy until it breaks our resistance and turns into support. So what the heck is wrong with this? Oh, I keep pressing this, that's why. So let me extend this. All right. And then we can actually begin selling if price does end up breaking out of our trend line completely, and then we get a nice retest of this zone in the trend line pretty much. So if we get a nice break and a nice retest back up there, we can for sure take this baby on down. So you guys could go ahead and screenshot these. Oh, did you guys screenshot the other one for me? Put in the chat. Oh, you missed. Okay, I'll go back so you can put it in the chat. I don't know what this person's saying. Okay, so that's it for NU. You guys see how quickly it takes me to do this? Like, I literally in 1 hour can mark up like 50 charts. So which one was the other one? USD CAD. Oh, I didn't like USD CAD that much. Yeah, we're not gonna put that in the chart. It's just there to let you know what could potentially happen, but we don't like this one that much. All right, so UJ and NU are good right now. Let's look at NJ. I don't know how I feel about NJ. I see that, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all, actually, because we were on a downtrend. If you draw a trend line here, how do I want to draw this? I'll draw it like that. That wick touch, so it's valid. This wick just kind of go through. That's cool. This one, we can see it was on a downtrend. It broke its downtrend, came and retested, and it also broke the high that it had. This was like the last high of the downtrend. Yeah, all this. Okay, cool. I like this. It broke. It broke and retested this. It also broke this level here. So yeah, we are definitely on an uptrend now. Yeah, so we're definitely on an uptrend right now. So I can erase this, and I can now put a trend line going up. That one's kind of going through. I want to see something here. Oh, that's the same thing that NU was doing. Let's see something here. All right, we can try this one. I'm gonna still put another trend line there just in case. Okay, so I don't really like that trend line, but I'm gonna just keep it there, and I can erase this zone now. Okay, so we have let me put it back. So I dissected that by putting a trend line here to show that we were on a downtrend, and then price broke that trend line that I had showed you guys that was going down here. And then I showed you that price had broken its last high. This was the last high on the downtrend. Let me put on my replay so y'all can see. This was the last high on the downtrend. And the way that the downtrend is considered broken is if we get a break and if we get a retest, right? And that would be our continuation. And we got that, guys. We got a break and we got a retest. I'll show you. That was actually another high that it had formed here. So at this point, we're still in seller's territory until it had broken that recent high. I mean, that last high. So then we finally get a candlestick that breaks out of it. This was the breakout candle, guys. This candle broke out. This candle broke out. This was the ideal candle, a very nice breakout. This was a very nice breakout, and then price came back and retested perfectly right here. That was a retest. You could have entered there. You could have entered here, and that was the retest. It hasn't made its continuation yet, but we could potentially expect that when the market opens. We don't know. We just sit and we wait. But there you go, guys. You could have entered any of these candlesticks, and look, if you would have entered and pressed buy, you would have caught 26 pips. Okay? That would have been a nice 26 pip move right there. So let me dissect this a little bit more. And usually if I have to spend too much time on a pair dissecting it, I'm like, I don't have time for this. There's 10 times more other pairs out there that I don't have to spend this much time on that are actually trending nicely. Okay, that's where you guys want to question yourself. You're like, okay, am I spending too much time trying to figure out what it's doing or what it might do? Then go to the next pair because obviously it's not trending the way you need it to. You got to make trading as simple as possible. You don't want to overcomplicate it by looking at the complicated things. All right, so I'm going to erase this real quick and actually dissect it. Only reason why I'm iffy about this is because if I have a nice valid trend line here, price kind of broke out of this trend line. Then I also want to find, this is why I go to the 4 hours sometimes, just to get a more clear picture. Where is there a resistance at? Up here, there's one. I just don't like how big that wick is. And then there's also this, okay, I can see something going on here. Yeah, I'm gonna do it on the 1 hour. I mean the 4 hours so I can actually see. Right here. Okay, cool. Yeah, it does smell like fire. Something burning. Okay, so I see why price has broken this trend line because it's probably just retesting the bottom of this. So let me go to the 1 hour. All right, so we're actually still valid. We're still valid for our buys. We are still completely valid for our buy. And this is why if the trend line breaks like this, you don't just delete your trend line. Follow just your support and resistance zone then. We're still valid for a buy. Price did not break our resistance. Until price comes out of that support and turns into like a resistance, then you can consider selling. But we are trending up right now. We're trending up right now. We are trending up. So I'd be looking for buys. We broke this. We broke our resistance. We came back down and retested. So I'm expecting a continuation to the upside. You do want to take into consideration this wick here. So you could probably, there you go. I take into consideration that wick, and then if price does break above that wick and gives us a retest, you can continue on buying. But this is what I'd be looking for on NJ. Does everybody understand what the arrows are meaning for me right now and why I'm drawing the arrows? I'm drawing my plan. This is how you plan for the market. We don't ever know what the market is going to do. We don't predict the market. We plan, and then we react based off price. If price breaks this resistance, if price breaks this support, turns into resistance, we sell. If price stays here, gives us what we need, the way we're going to enter this trade, guys, is on the 15-minute. Okay, we're going to enter this on the 15-minute triumph time frame. If we get a nice counter trend line, we can draw a counter trend line. Right now, it's not giving it to us. It's not a pretty counter trend line. But ideally, this is what we're looking for. This is exactly what we are looking for. If price gives us a nice entry here, we would buy it, take it up to here. And then if price breaks this and retest, we can buy again and take it on up. Okay? And then if we get a break of this zone here and a retest, we can sell down. And I'd look to sell to these areas down here. The price has already rejected. All right, so that's that for you, Jay. Everybody got that for you, Jay? I mean, NJ? Okay, cool. Let me put this up here. NZD Chef is probably gonna look like trash because U Chef was looking like trash. But NZD pairs do trend better than any of those. What's this doing? It was on an uptrend. Kind of looks like it's coming down now, but I really wouldn't know until. Well, actually, if you follow the rules and you do impulse pullback, this was the last pullback. So I usually would draw a zone right at the bottom of this, and we are still in buyer's territory until we get a break. Until price completely breaks out of this, okay, that's when we can change our bias on the buy. But honestly, if you were to put a counter trend line here, to 15 minutes, so I can make it neater. If you put a counter trend line there, and price breaks it, gives us a nice little retest, then we can continue our buys. So that's what I'd be looking for on NJ. Because we were on an uptrend, we still kind of are until it's completely broken. Our trend line was broken, but our zone hasn't really been broken yet. Our trend line was broken here, but our zone hasn't been broken. So I would wait for the zone. Let me see if I could draw an extended trend line from here. Yeah, it did. It broke, and this was the retest. Yeah, so I just wait for this. It might be on its way down. So if it gives us a break and retest, you can sell. So that's that for you and Chef. All the NZD pairs are doing the same. Yep, don't care about this. Oh no, wait, I need to see something on NZD Chef really quickly. I forgot to look. Oops. I'm missing a valuable point here. I want to see if it's at a resistance. We look to the left. Yeah, we had some interruptions there. Oh yeah, we did here. All right, let me draw this. I like this one a lot better. All right, cool. So we do have a resistance there. So that's why it could be on the start of this downtrend. Cool beans. Awesome. So we had a resistance up here. So it started going down from there. And then, like I said, we're just going to wait for this to break and retest. If we get the break and retest, then we can sell. And then if price breaks this counter trend line, then you can, I'd only look to buy it up to this zone here. I really wouldn't go further than the zone, which is still a good amount of pips. Let's see. Maybe. It's NZD Chef. The Chef pairs. That's still good. 41 pips. That's still good. All right. So now. GU. GU was on a downtrend. It was broken here, but I like to determine, okay, we had this area here. This is a really nice zone. I don't like what price did here at the zone at all, because we like for price to respect zones. This is a very respectful zone because it wick here, it wicked here, it wicked here, and it reversed here. They have a nice reversal here. So it's a really nice zone. But when you see price doesn't respect the zone, it's not pretty. We don't like that, because ideally we would have saw this, and this is because a lot has to do with NFP. At the break of this zone, you see how it broke our trend line and it broke our zone? After something like this, what are we usually going to be doing, guys?
Selling.
So why would you want to sell this?
Because it's on the, it looks like it's about to get ready to go on the downtrend.
No. Do you see the downtrend here? It's been on a major downtrend this whole time, and it finally broke.
Oh, okay, I see it, because it broke. So it's going to retest.
This was the retest. So ideally, if you see this, what would you do?
Start to buy?
You would start buying, exactly, because it broke our trend line and it broke our last high. So it broke and it retested. So right here is your, this is usually where you'd want to enter for your buys, right? So usually I throw on a counter trend line here. I love counter trend lines because they help me to figure out what I really want to do. I just hate NFP week, because NFP week never goes by the rules. So I want to see something. I want to see what it actually did. Okay, I'm seeing what it did. So most people would have bought. I would have bought. I have no reason for me not to buy. This would have been the perfect buy entry right here. It went up about 24 pips, still not a lot. But then it just reversed on us. And that's why I said I don't like how price didn't respect that zone, because it was a very respectable zone. But that's what NFP would do to you. And then it just decided to do its own thing. So yeah, I would have been like, okay, I'm sick of this pair. Yeah, so do you guys see what it did? So okay, I see what it's probably going to be doing now. So yeah, ideally that would have been the buy. That would have been our perfect buy. Like we know, NFP was last week. It didn't respect this zone at all. So since it didn't respect the zone, we can erase the zone, because now it's no longer relevant to us. It's no longer relevant to us because it didn't respect the zone. Now we wait and see what it's actually going to do. What does this thing really want to do now? Because we can't get off of the information that it has given us here. There's nothing we can tell off of this at all, because it didn't respect our zone already. Okay, it didn't respect our zone, and now we just wait. I feel like it might, I don't know, but this is what I think it's going to do. I think it's going to come back to retest the trend line, because that's what price does, guys. It either respects zones or it respects trend lines, because trend lines still act as support and resistance. So it might come and retest this trend line and then make its move, or it might just completely just forget this trend line and just go all the way down to the moon. If we get that, then we'll look for ourselves. Until then, we sit on our hands and we wait for what price gives us. So this is something I'll just be looking at during the week. It's nothing that's on my list for right now. I'll just look at it during the week to see what it did. Did I do GN already? No, I didn't, right? I didn't do GN. GN is going down. We are trending down right now. There's a few ways I could draw this trend line. I'm looking at something, guys. I always look at multiple trend lines to see. I mean, I don't like that trend line at all. I would prefer this one any day. Like that. I don't know if I really like that either. Yeah, I don't care about the trend line on here. I'm just going to go through my impulse and pullbacks. So right here we had price trending down. Then we got price trending down, and then it's pulling back right here. Pulled back to a really nice zone, actually. I like this zone. So when I drew this zone, this is what I was looking at, guys. I was looking at these wicks here. I want price to be right. I want my zone to be right at the tip of that wick. And I also looked at this wick right here. So I'm going to fix it so that price is touching that wick. So with this zone, I've got all these wicks in there. This wick is in there. I've got that wick in there. That wick. And that wick. Then I've got this wick in there. Then I've got this nice wick in there. And then I've got these two here. And this thing is about to be on its way down. That's what it looks like. It gave us a nice, it was trending down. Then it pulled back. And this might be its continuation going on down. We're not buying this until price breaks above. Okay, so we're not looking for any buys at all until if price broke above this. If price does not break above, we are still only looking for sales in this market. Dang, that's juicy though. How the market gonna close just like this on somebody right when it's about to drop? How the market gonna do that to them? If you would have do like a little counter trend line, that's the break. So we might get a retest, y'all. That's what I'm gonna be looking for on this pair when the market open. I need me a nice little retest. We might open up with a gap, but we don't know. If we get a nice little retest coming back up in the zone, I'm taking this baby down. And then if we get a break above, then we buy. So here's the 1 hour markup. I can remove all these. Yeah, I can get rid of all of that. So ideally, if you do get a break and retest of this last high, you can look for your buys. But we are still in our seller's territory until that's broken. We had our counter trend line broken, and now let's see if we get that retest back to that trend line in that zone so that we can get the sell. Sounds good, y'all? I hope I get that retest back up.